we're live. Welcome back to Whiskey, Watches, and Wheels with
Kevin.
the guy and me.
Who are you?
Savannah, his daughter.
So today we are out 3 people. We're out Matt, James, and Casey. They all have stuff to do. So I asked my daughter if she wanted to go on a podcast. And she said yes. So we don't know what we're going to talk about today. We have kind of an idea. What are we going to talk about today?
I think what got me into cars, watches, and whiskey.
So she drinks bourbon with me. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we haven't did our what watch you're wearing. So since she's a special guest, what are you wearing today?
I'm wearing a Tag Heuer. It was probably my first big girl watch. I didn't buy it with my big girl money, but it's definitely my favorite. I just got it repaired and I think the crown changed and a couple gaskets and everything like that. It took a while, but well worth it. It's my everyday watch. I love it.
And it's Aquamarine?
Aqua Racer.
Oh, okay. And today I'm wearing a Seiko Arnie 84. It's the original one. You guys have probably heard before. I bought the re-pop one and that they made, and it was made in China and didn't work very good. So I actually went out and bought the old version, and it's a little bulky, but I like it. So since everybody's gone, we're going to try to make this the best episode ever. We'll try
the
to.
Most views.
There you go. So, Savannah, you drink bourbon with me. We go on trips together. We do whiskey tasting. So what do people look at you when they see you? First of all, you look 12?
Yeah. 12 to 15 is the age. Like, I will go to a restaurant, especially with my parents, and they'll ask if I want a kid menu. I'm like, I'm 24. I do not want a kid's menu, but thanks. It's real awkward, but I guess I'll take it as a compliment.
So when did you start drinking bourbon?
When I was 21.
So when you were ordering bourbon,
Mm-hmm.
did you get carded?
I did not. I was so excited to finally go and drink and get carded. And I quickly learned that if you order bourbon, whether it's neat, an old fashioned, mixed with ginger, whatever, you don't get carded, because when you look like you're 12 and you're ordering an old fashioned, they just kind of scoff and they're like, hey, that's what you want to drink, fine. Rather than a Malibu and orange juice or screwdrivers. Found it pretty easy, but also a little bit disappointing because I wanted to get carded.
So you and I, we used to have a Excel spreadsheet, and it got kind of. So why did we do an Excel spreadsheet? You had the idea from something else.
I just like Excel spreadsheets. I think I don't know where we got the idea from.
Charcuterie board.
Oh yeah, I made a charcuterie board spreadsheet to try to figure out the best charcuterie board. That's a lot easier, but I think we quickly learned that we're a bit of prima donnas when it comes to old fashions. I think speak for both of us. I will not drink an old fashioned if it doesn't have a gentleman's cube. I'll drink it if it has the light red cherries.
Yeah, a little piece of crap mentioned.
Yeah, I
cherries.
Don't like them, but I'll drink it. But it has to have a gentleman's cube.
Or sphere.
Yep, or a sphere, and
so we found
an orange peel rather than a sliced orange peel, not just cut up wedges that are muddled with sugar. That's awful.
And I think we found out that immediately we would get a old fashioned. We get it with crushed ice or ice cubes. It was well, that's not even going to be on the list. No matter what kind of bourbon it was going to be, it was just
Yeah, I think we also tried doing a solid variable where we always did Buffalo Trace because I think it's our favorite, but a lot of places didn't have Buffalo Trace. So then it also kind of screwed up our spreadsheet because.
Yeah, and I think we also did it as we were looking at, okay, how much simple syrup, how many bitters, what kind of bitters. And it got to the point when you have so many of Buffalo Trace, we started going different bourbons. So we found out quickly that not necessarily the most expensive bourbon is the best tasting.
100%.
Because I know one of my favorites is Yellow Rose.
Four Roses Yellow Label.
Yellow Label, right.
And we only found that out because of the spreadsheet when we were up in St. Augustine.
Yep. And then we started experimenting with different bourbons, different alcohol, kind of like Casey has said. Sometimes you need a little higher proof to balance out the simple syrup. But again, that changes so much when so many people just, squeeze simple syrup or put 2 cubes of sugar.
And I think also it also depends on, we realize that some people use simple syrup that you go and you buy pre-made one, or some restaurants make their own, which I think is the smartest way to do it. Cut some P&L, but they have very different tastes, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the store-bought stuff is a lot sweeter. And again, too, you have some people that, even if you would go into a nice establishment that is known for bourbons, it may be an off day. They may not have a cube.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, we did quite a bit, and then we just said, we just have to stop this because the scores were just getting, it could have been a good bourbon, but with an orange slice or a ice cubes, and that just threw everything off. So really, we were grading pretty much the restaurant, not the old fashioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or the bartender.
Yep.
Be like, you make a piss poor cocktail.
And there has been times too that we were like, yeah, we're not drinking this.
Oh yeah.
So after so many times, we just gave up on the idea. So you and I, we've been to Tennessee, Kentucky, doing bourbon tastings at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
When you were like 20, 20 or 21. And so far we've done a couple in Knoxville. We've done a couple. We just recently went to Old Forester.
That was probably my favorite, tour-wise and like experience-wise.
And why?
Just the facility was huge, and you learned so much about it. Like, I didn't know that it was the oldest bourbon.
Yeah.
Hey, it is. Since before the Prohibition, right?
Oh yeah, well, way before Prohibition. But also too that he spent time making everything the same.
Mm-hmm.
So to sell it as like medicinal purposes and stuff. And then we also went to Jefferson's Ocean, which a lot of smaller vineyards or smaller bourbon, I guess brewery. What do you even call
Distilleries?
Distilleries. There you go. So I've had a long day today. Some of the smaller ones, they're just little shops.
Yeah, I think it kind of, the bigger ones you learn more, but the littler ones you get more of a personal connection with the tour guide, and no little like trade secrets, rather than when you're going to Old Forester, the same person is giving the speech over and over to thousands of people as opposed to 20 people throughout the day. So you get more of a personal kind of connection with your tour guide and just learn a little bit more about that company.
Yeah, and I think you can ask more questions opposed to having 20 or 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it interesting that every time, I know you don't look at it, but every time you sit down, you're usually one of the only girls, or you're one of, maybe a wife will be there that you can tell doesn't drink bourbon at all. And you're over there sometimes with your dropper, smelling it. And I look at the other people to see their reaction when you first take your first sip, because I think they're gonna,
yeah, if you don't like it, you're like, and you play it off. Yes. Cool.
And then when I see a lot of their faces when you take the first sip and you're like, oh, okay, and you look at me and you ask me questions and stuff, you're like, hey, this one tastes like crap, this one's good. And I do see their eyebrows kind of raise up. They're like, oh shit, this girl actually drinks bourbon, and you're doing all the nuances that everyone else does. And like, yeah, this one. And they always ask like, oh, which do you like better? And you're usually like spot on with like either the notes or the one that has the higher proof or the lower proof. So that's pretty cool. That's something that you and I share. We've been doing that more and more. Your mom doesn't she doesn't drink whiskey. She doesn't drink bourbon.
No, but I think if we tell her to try one, she's
will.
a good sport, but she's not going to know the notes.
Now, flavors, did not used to like whiskey, or you actually still don't like Jack Daniels?
I will not drink Jack Daniels. That is foul.
And
that's your favorite.
Yes. So it's funny because she will not drink Jack at all, but she'll drink bourbon.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with like Jack being like cheap, like go-to bourbon, like whiskey or whiskey. Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. I just do not like. I don't know. I think it tastes like jalapenos to me or something. There's something about it that I'm like, ugh. Yeah, I will drink Bourbon, it doesn't have to be mixed either. Like I could sip on it straight and be fine. But I also do like, I think I get some like good brownie points with his friends. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have an old fashioned or I'll have, a bourbon straight. And they're like, Kevin, she really gonna drink that or waste it? No, I'll drink it.
Yep. And then we just went to, where did we go? I'm trying to think. Maybe I went and somebody gave me some bourbon to take home, like a Weller. I think, I don't know what it was, 107 or something like that. And you tried it and you were like, oh, this is really good. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even tell you like what it was. So, yeah, there's something that we share in common. I know the other guys all drink bourbon as well, except for Matt. We did go to Savannah and you were drinking bourbon with us as well. And we tried to do a podcast with the phones and it didn't work out. I think we had already pre-gamed and we were drinking bourbons. So we had a good time. But so you drink bourbon with me. You're into watches.
Mm-hmm.
So what watch is your favorite? And you do have kind of a collection for a young person.
Yeah, I think I have favorites for different occasions. I think my favorite that everyone would know would just be my Rolex that I have. And I think it's only my favorite because of the name.
Okay. And that is a...
Datejust.
Okay, Datejust. And with a...
Jubilee band.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And your first watch was what, though? Do you remember it?
Fossil. From the cruise. It was a rose gold Fossil.
It was a Fossil?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a M Micro Kors.
No. I did have one of those. I gave it to a friend.
Okay.
I got it from a boyfriend.
So you had that, and then what was your, I guess, your first watch? Like the Rolex? Oh, this one?
This one, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got that watch, and then I know I surprised you with a Rolex for graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, college graduation. Mm-hmm. Well, no, before that you had...
Before that, for a birthday, my mom got me a Tissot.
Yeah, Tissot, yeah.
Yep, with it's very, very pretty, almost like this kind of green, but more of like a more blue in it. Great face. I really like it. It's probably one of those watches that my friends, they know that I like watches, and they're like, hey, what should be a good beginner watch that I don't want to break the bank? And that's the one that I'll recommend because it's Swiss made, I believe.
Yep. And then after that, then you got I
got another tag, my green Tag Carrera.
Yep.
Me and my mom got matching ones. He was out of town on a guy's trip with, I think, Casey. Yeah. Or no, Aaron. He was with Aaron Johnson. And we went to the tag store and got BOGO.
And then after that, you got...
Before that, my college graduation.
Okay, and that is a what?
A Cartier.
Do you know which one?
No, but I talked about it. That was the watch I showed when I was on the podcast.
Okay.
My first podcast.
And then you've also had some Seikos, too.
Mm-hmm. So I have two vintage Seikos that I've gotten for Christmas. One of them's kind of square with like a countersunk dial.
Mm-hmm.
That one's pretty cool. It's from, I believe, 1978. And then my other Seiko is a matching one with you, and it's for the blind, so you could flip it up and feel the hands.
Oh, that's right.
And that one's
but you don't
82.
You don't wear that one too much.
No, because my wrist is so small, and I've taken out all the links.
So that is one thing I've noticed with any of your watches. I have to take all the links out, and even some of them, and we're talking ladies' watches too. Mm-hmm. So you were very proud of your... Can you show them? I know a lot of people don't actually watch the YouTube, but she has quite the chain line.
It almost matches the wall behind us. I'm very proud of it. That's to show, though, since I got my first Fossil watch in 2012 when we were on that cruise, I've never gone without a watch. So, even to the beach, I'll wear it because I don't want to get, a burn.
So, in 2012, you were 12, and you didn't even know how to tell time, did you?
No. Well, I did, but, if you ask me the time, I'm, counting the hands.
But now, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that and cursive, those are the two things that They don't teach in school anymore.
And I don't even think they teach you how to count money either. So, like when you go to like a cash register, it just tells you what it is. No.
Oh, so like to just automatically give
like
change.
To give change, yeah.
Okay, well, that's our society these days.
Yeah.
So, do you have any watches that are on your bucket list? Because I know you always see me. I buy a lot of watches through a broker that most of the guys use. We all use the same guy. So she gets to see kind of what's coming in the mail.
Yeah. I think my, not necessarily like bucket list watch, but a watch that I do want, but I don't think they make for females, and I think it'll just be too big on my wrist, would be the John Player's watch. Seiko.
Okay, 6138. I don't know the. So that is a chrono, gold face, gold dial,
two-tone band, I believe.
Yeah, well, that one's very hard. I know somebody that has one of those. He's in our podcast, so we're trying to get him to come off of it. And maybe he will.
Maybe.
But I don't still think it's going to fit your wrist.
No, I don't think it will either. Same with, I forgot, I have the Omega Swatch Moon watch, the Uranus one.
Yeah.
And I have noticed, because since I'm into watches, I look at people's wrists, especially because my dad's left-handed. I like either making fun of them if they're left-handed and they wear their watch on their left hand, or if they're right-handed and wear their watch on their right hand. I will call them out and be like, what are you doing? That's not how you wear a watch. And kind of just bust their balls because I think it's funny. But I look for those things, and I have noticed that I call it sleepers. I was at an event with some friends, and there's this guy that had I think it was the Earth one. So it was the Mega Swatch Moon Phase watch, and he had the Earth one. And I was like, hey, man, I really like your watch. And, of course, he looked at my wrist and was like, I like your watch, too. And it turned out he was a watch broker.
But he was wearing an Omega. Yeah. So you never know.
Exactly. So I call it the sleeper watch, because anytime I see one of those people, I'm like, they've got a watch collection. This is sleepers.
Okay. So I don't see it like that. Well, I mean, I guess
you have a moon watch and you have a watch collection.
That's true. Yeah. So I'm wondering how many people actually have that Swatch watch that probably have a watch collection, because I know a lot of the guys on the podcast have them too, and we all have watch collections.
Same with there's this YouTuber. He's like my generation. His name's David Dobrik, and he wears the same one I have. It's the Uranus one, and he's billionaire, and he always wears that watch. I think it's because maybe it's inexpensive, and he can just wear it doing his everyday activities, YouTubing. But he's got APs and Rolexes and Cartiers and everything like that, but continuously wears the Swatch watch.
And I know for me, I wear a lot of inexpensive watches like Sharks and Casios and stuff like that, just because in my field, I'm either working on a car, a machine shop, or on a computer, just moving your wrist around, and the bottom of the clasp gets scratched up. And I know that's why a lot of people, that's the original reason why you shouldn't be wearing your watch on the hand that you write with, because you'll scratch it up. But what side do you put your mouse on?
My right side.
So because I have employees and that we all use the same computers, we all kind of
everyone's right-handed.
Yeah, on the mouse. But I should have my mouse on my left hand, but because I'm using everyone's computer, I've kind of just adapted to that. And you moving it around like all the time, I do notice like the bottom of my clasp, it's getting like. And then some people I have tried to break the habit of wearing their watch on the incorrect hand, especially if mainly left-handers. There's one person that I have not broken.
I know who that is.
Yep. And he just will not do it. So his name's Connor, by the way. I'll just call him out on the show. I don't know why he doesn't want to, but he doesn't want to be.
I mean, I get it if you have a gnarly tan line, but he's pretty white. I don't think he's got a gnarly tan line.
No. He just said, no, I don't want to do it. Okay. So we've had a couple employees that changed, and then other people, when you tell them, hey, it's the proper etiquette, I think oh, I never knew that. I just wear it because somebody else wears it. And that's another reason why, for me, I'm able to see people on TV. I pick them up writing anyways, but oh, this person's left-handed. Oh, or just picking somebody out in the audience. And like you said, you do it as well, just
I
because.
did it yesterday. Jason Bateman in Ozarks.
Oh,
Who
because
was
he's left-handed.
left-handed, yeah.
Yeah. So, um, cool little, I guess, tidbit or like habit that we do. So much so that even your mom does it now. She's like, oh, like that guy's left-handed. So for people that
I think it's only because you're left-handed. If the whole family was right-handed, we wouldn't care. But
I 100% agree with you. Yes. So being left-handed was very tough for me growing up because back then I didn't have left-handed scissors. And that is, you had to cut a circle. You had to do certain things when you're in kindergarten. Also, to any left-handers, as you know, when you write, you have. I do not write like this, but a lot of people do write with their hand kind of curled over, so they don't get that graphite all over their hands. But I do remember licking my hand and rubbing it on. So I guess that's just a left-hander thing. And when you live with it all your life, you kind of like, oh, that's another person that had to go through the struggles that I have to go through.
there's just such a disadvantage.
Yes. Believe it or not, even turning bolts, like righty tighty, lefty loosey, I have to think in my head because my mind does not work that way. And I mean, your mom even got me a.
Yeah, we've tried in the household accommodating to this guy, and then he is like, "What the hell is this?" It's just what was it? A tape measure?
Yeah.
For Christmas, my mom got him like all these left-handed tools, and one of them was a tape measure. And he opens it up, and he was like, "A tape measure? Really? I have 7 of these in the garage." And we're like, "But you don't have this one." And he's like, "I do." And we're like, "No, you don't. It's for left-handed people." And he, opens it up, but he opens it up as a right-handed person would. So, like, I don't know, it just didn't click in your mind that the numbers were actually upside down, because when you grab it with this hand and pull with your left hand, the numbers are now facing you.
Right.
And we made him go out to the garage and compare his tape measures, and he's like, "Oh, pretty cool." I still think you use the right-handed ones now, but
No, because I don't think I have.
or maybe we brought them all to work and only have the left-handed
Yes.
one at the house. Yeah,
Pretty much. So I think you guys are stuck with the left-handed tape measure now.
that's fine. I don't use it.
So good. So you drink bourbon, you wear watches, cars. You are into cars, and what do you drive now? What was your first car?
A 2001 BMW 325i E46.
And what did you do to it?
I put 2-piece wheels on it.
3-piece.
Oh, 3-piece wheels, my bad. Coilovers, which we had to keep raising the springs because I was taking it. They kept adjusting and lowering as time went on, and I'd bring it in on a monthly basis because I took corners pretty fast. I still do, but what else? Got Alcantara headliner.
The whole thing, like
Was
you did, yeah,
restored.
Pretty much. Yep, and then now this was 10 years ago or 9 years ago when E46s were not. I mean, you can get it for $3,000. And I know you and me both put a lot of money into the car. And why did you get rid of it?
I was going to college, and it was just kind of one of the oil seals was bad in it, and in order to fix it, you had to take out the entire transmission, I think, and fix the seal, which I wasn't going to do because he was like, "Well, you're old enough, you got to pay for it." And I was like, "I'm not doing that."
And then the check engine light for little simple things.
Yeah, it's just little tedious things. He wanted to get a new car, and my mom said, "No, you have too many, you have to sell one." So he's like, "Fine, I'll sell Savannah's." And that's how I got the Civic.
Oh, yeah. So it's a 2016?
Civic, yes. And I love it.
Now, what do you want to get?
I wanted to get a Type R. I think last time I was on the podcast, I just learned how to drive stick shift so I could get a Type R. But I think as I'm getting older, I don't want to sit in traffic and shift. Not for a daily car, at least.
Because you did want to get a EG hatch or EK hatch.
For like a little weekend car. I mean, if the opportunity arose, I would still get one of those. But I think my dream car growing up was the R34 Nissan Skyline from watching Fast and Furious with you until 3 a.m. But those are expensive now that they're illegal in America. And I think it's just a little bit played out now. So I think my new dream car would be your, no, definitely not your first car, but the first car I remember you having was the Type R Integra in yellow.
Oh, the 2001?
Mm-hmm.
Which I do not like, just because, I don't know, I guess you have good memories of that car. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why you like that car. Maybe why do you like that car?
I think it's just the nostalgia.
Okay.
And it's a Type R, like it's Honda.
Oh, so
you gotta work your way up. You started down here, and I are into Porsches, so I gotta like work my way up, you know.
So you've pretty much, even though I know you didn't own cars, but you and I used to do a lot of every Thanksgiving go to Turkey Rod Run. Mm-hmm. So you've been around cars. You've even worked on cars with me because
I have little hands.
Yes, and you could get underneath cars and fix the electrical stuff. So tell us a little bit about like kind of your memories of going to Turkey Rod Run, and like, I mean, we've been going for so many years. Yeah. And do you not like those cars anymore?
No, it just seems to be whatever this guy's into. It's like, oh, I like that, and just make his hobbies mine, so he has no peace in life. I think my best memories was just going to you go to Turkey Rod Run in the International Speedway here in Daytona, and then after hours you'd go to like where the strip is, and there was like this Publix parking lot which was filled, and unfortunately I think Jeep Week ruined it because someone burned down a tree. But that was always fun because we were staying up late eating. We didn't even have Thanksgiving dinner. I think we went to a Cracker Barrel with my mom. She would go to work, and then we would drive up to Daytona, and that was just so fun walking around all and seeing all of the cars. Because a lot of people too, I think, didn't really want to go into Turkey Rod Run,
right,
and paid like the tickets and everything, and they knew, hey, we could just go here and still show our cars off. So
that whole parking lot was usually, I saw more buying and selling of cars in that parking lot.
You also bought quite a few cars in that parking lot.
Yes. So, and that's, I think, what a lot of the deals were. Like, people would go to that area and sell cars. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we've been quite a bit of times. So I've always had like a 1915 T bucket, and for the first time we drove that 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah. So I believe I was 13 or 12. And I don't remember what year it was of Turkey Rod Run, but I did the math, and I was like, Dad, when I'm 23, I'm going to be married, I'm going to have kids of my own, that they're going to want to celebrate Thanksgiving with me, but I'm going to tell them no, and I have to come back for the 50th year of Turkey Rod Run with you. And I think you kind of just laughed it off and was like, okay. And then it rolled around, and I was like, I'm not married and don't have kids, so we're going. And I think at that point we were kind of over it. Yeah. We've just been so many times. And then COVID kind of ruined it a little bit.
COVID did definitely ruin. I definitely think hanging out at La Playa, that was super fun. And I think once that ended, it was kind of the end of, people doing burnouts on Main Street, people just driving up and down, because that's such a long, from Main Street, from the pier, mm-hmm. all the way down to La Playa. That's quite a distance. I mean, probably 3, 4, 5 miles or something like that. And then you make the back around, people would be lined up. That all went away after La Playa closed down. And then, even though that did close down, people were still going to Publix. And then when COVID happened, we did go for the first year, and it was okay.
Yeah, they opened up that new mall called Daytona 1 and had it before. There's, I think, like a Costco in the back there, but it was an empty parking lot. Yep. So everyone was like, let's go here. It's right across from the Speedway. And then we went, and then good times. But I think it got shut down because people were doing like drag stripping in the middle of the parking lot. Yeah. And it got real dangerous. And then the following year, we're like, oh, let's go back. And then
it was dead.
Yes. And I think we left early that year and just went to St. Augustine.
Yes, we did. So that was, and then we went did we go last year? I think.
No, we went to Kentucky.
Oh, okay. So the year before that, we went.
That was for the 50th. Yeah.
And not fun.
No, just the same old thing. I think it was fun a little just because it was the 50th year. Like, I waited all these
Yeah, and we
years.
do. We talk to clients because I do parts for some clients that you've kind of grew up seeing them, and they're always asking about you, and we would hang out with them. But it's the same old, same old.
Hmm.
Like same cars, same people, and I guess you could say that for every car scene. Because I mean, let's face it, it's the same people, same cars, even with a Porsche. But it's new to us.
Hmm.
So it's not, pop up in the chair and just sit by your car to talk about your car. I think in the Porsche scene, it is about driving, but also about the people.
Hmm.
Whereas you can go to any of those other, and you would see just people hanging out by their car, wanting somebody to talk to them or ask them questions about the car. And for us, we parked the car and like left. We didn't want to talk about cars.
Hmm.
We just wanted to like go see other stuff. Um,
Get our steps in.
yeah, and with the Porsche scene, it's kind of like, hey, you do a lot of driving, you're in the car, and then
I think it's also more active
yes,
too. You're not just in a parking lot every single day. There's something new every day.
that's
There's a
true.
night scene a little bit. Not like when I say night scene, there could be that car show after party at that parking lot we were saying. But Porsche wise, oh, you guys will all go to a restaurant or a bar and not shut it down, but like mingle. You're not sitting there in a parking lot outside next to your cars
Mm-hmm.
after you've been sitting outside all day long.
That's true. So right now, you're seeing that hey, I manufacture parts and for Porsches, and um, out of the Porsches that I've had, which ones which one is your favorite?
The white one.
So that was a 991.1 GT3 with an Apple livery. Why did you like that one?
I think I liked the livery because everyone thought that this guy was the owner of Apple whenever we went somewhere, which I thought was really funny. And I think it just had a lot of grit to it. You could feel a pebble and
No, they
just,
kick underneath the car.
yeah. And your other ones you can't, except for the red one. But you're also not going as fast.
That's true.
And it doesn't really have good AC.
That is true as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you have driven in the 1980 Weissach.
Mm-hmm.
So out of those two cars, the 85 Carrera, which ones? And the GT3, do you like the new 992?
I like the way it looks. I don't like the way it drives.
Because it's what?
It just feels like you're driving in a Kia. Like it's just so like very, very luxury, but like I feel if you're driving a Porsche, you want to feel you're driving a Porsche, but when you're driving that, you just feel like you're driving like a Kia or a Altima.
Okay. All right. Um,
It doesn't have that grit, but I think it's different when you're driving it on a track.
so speaking of track, do you want to start doing track days or no?
In your car?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
Who
and,
doesn't?
and
It'd be cool to go to that, what is it, Porsche Atlanta
yeah,
driving school.
yeah, the Porsche experience.
Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty cool.
And that would be their cars anyway. So,
Yeah, so.
so that's one thing that I've kind of wanted you to do, but every time I try to book it, it's always taken.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of like given up because they only have so many slots for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have and for those listening, there is um, I guess a group or an event that they have for people that are under 18 to do that. So before you were of age, 16, 17, 18, I think it's all the way up to 20, you could sign up and they would teach you like skills, driving skills. Now that you're old enough, you have to do with like.
Yeah. Too bad they check IDs there, I'm sure, because I'm sure I could get away with it without checking the ID.
Yes. So you see, as driving, you've met a lot of the people in the Porsche community. How do they differ from, like, especially you go to Rolex, that's one of your favorite events.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that event your favorite event? Because quite frankly, I can't stand it anymore.
I think it's just was the first event that I've gone to. So if we're seeing a pattern here, I like nostalgia. And it's 24 hours. So you don't have to sit there and watch the race all day long because 12 hours from now, you're going to be seeing the same car pass over and over and over again. So I like that you're able to kind of we go to dinner, come back, sit around the campfire, have conversations.
And you've met a lot of people that you say are pretty hilarious. Like, you have your own group of people that you hang out within my friend group that
Mm-hmm.
you hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point that you go hang out with them without me.
Yeah, that is true. That does happen.
Yeah, so tell them I'll tell you guys a story. I think 2 years ago we had a New Year's party, and Savannah asked, "Hey, Dad, can I have some friends over for New Year's Eve?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I was just thinking that it was going to be some of her friends from college or whatever, because I didn't want her being on the road. So I'm not one to entertain people because I am very OCD. So I did not know what the plan was, but apparently her and her mom decided to, actually, it was your idea. So you went and texted all of
Your friends.
yes, the which are your friends as well, but and said, "Hey, we're having a party at our house," and got everything. And I'm like, "What's going on here? Why is Aaron, your mom, getting all this stuff
For like 3 of my high school friends that he thinks is coming over.
Yeah. And then finally you told me, and I was like, what the hell? And they're like, oh, yeah, we invited like, I don't know, 20 or 30 people. And instantly I started like panicking, cleaning up everything.
Spring cleaning the house.
Yeah, like cleaning it, like dusting everything.
That's probably why I told you, because Mom was like, you gotta like deep clean the house and make sure everything's spick and span. I was like, I'll just tell Dad, he'll do it all.
Yes. Oh, is that what it was?
Probably.
Okay. And then all I did is bartend, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I think you secretly had a great time.
I had a great time, yes.
And you didn't have to drive anywhere.
Yep, I did have. So we do live about an hour away from everybody else. Mm-hmm. So for them to come and see us, normally we are making the trek to St. Pete or to Tampa. And for them to come to our neck of woods was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. That they did. And we had some other friends that aren't into the Porsche scene, and then your grandparents came over as well. So that was pretty nice. So yeah, you do hang out with them, and I know you cut it with Mike and Aaron, and every year at Rolex, you guys usually go in the van, and all I hear is 3 people laughing their asses off
to tears. We are like those people, those friend groups where you can just feed off of each other, and you don't even remember what the original joke was that started it, but then 30 minutes later you're still laughing because you just keep adding on to the joke and making it better and better and better. That's what we do year round. And just, it's like, I think last year we didn't have any new content, so we just went back to the original and started laughing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, you remember? And then yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, you do that quite often. Now, did you ever go to Sebring?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then do you plan on going?
No, I don't think so. Because I haven't really heard good things about it. It's kind of hit or miss.
It just happened as well. So
yeah, last weekend.
Now you have been with me to Tail of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm. And HSR. I like HSR a lot because it's just older. It's different.
Yeah, it's older cars. And it's a cool feel, kind of like, I highly recommend if any of you want to go to a race that's 24 hours, but you don't have to deal. Now, it's not Rolex, but you still get the feel. And if you want to go and hang out with people and have a good time, have bonfires, I think that's probably my most favorite, and cut jokes.
I think it's just a classier version of NASCAR.
HSR?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, because there are a whole bunch of different cars, not just Porsche, even though that's probably 75% of it. Last year we went and we had one of our friends and one of our employees, Bert, he actually worked the pits. So that was pretty cool that we got to see him smile.
I mean, we see him work all the time, but he's not smiling when he's doing our stuff.
He was smiling the whole time working on Porsche stuff. and he's not a Porsche guy. I think he used to race wheel modifies and go karts and stuff. So he got back into his element and
The nostalgia.
yes. So no Sebring, HSR. You've gone to, and this year are you going to do Rolex again? Because I'm not going to do Rolex again.
I don't know. I might do Rolex again. I really like Rolex.
You're just going to go with everybody else
Yeah.
and take the van?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I know the shindig now.
Yeah, because you and Mom went by yourself and set everything up.
Yeah, it's just such a good, I don't know, atmosphere. We always go to the same spot, and we met some guy my first year going. I think, did you meet him your first year going?
No.
So it was my first year going, and he just happened to be next to us, having fire, and we've gone and hung out with him next to our little campsite every single
4 years,
year.
I think
Yeah.
it's been.
Even at HSR.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did come to that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you meet people.
You have that connection. It's not necessarily with him because he does live far away. But you can meet, let's say, Aaron and Mike, for an example, and you're not just going to hang out with them at Porsche events. You go hang out with them at New Year's events at our house, go out for birthday dinners. Like, it's a friend group, not just Porsche related. Like, they're everlasting friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Phrase
but,
is.
Because of Porsche stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. You don't have a Porsche, but you still hang out with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that is kind of me being in hot rods for many, many years. I typically would hang out with those people only for car events, not events that were, just, hey, you want to go out to dinner? Mm-hmm. So that is some difference that I have seen. And I do see that kind of in the general car. Now, that just may have been our group. But, hey, I used to be in a car club, a hot rod car club. Have a lot of friends that still into hot rods and old cars. Been into cars all my life.
Do you think that it's just that car group, or when you were into old like racers and stuff, were you hanging out with that car group, just going and racing, or were you hanging out with them like on a day-to-day basis as well? Because I think you were.
Yeah, when I was younger doing like import scene, I did do things with them, but it was more hang out at their house because back then we didn't have a lot of money, so you kind of go to someone's house.
Y'all meet up. It's like that Dom Toretto scene where they're all pulled up.
Exactly.
With Jesse, and he's like, "I gotta get my dad's car."
Yes, that's what more it was. That's right. So speaking of Fast and Furious, I know. What was the last one that you've seen? Because I know you stopped after.
I think I haven't watched the last like 3. I think when they were jumping out of space, I was like, I'm done. I don't like them after. So there's the first one, there's the second one, then there's the best one, and then I think there's a third one, and then after the third one, it's not the good. The best one
is what?
Tokyo Drift. By far.
And that's not even with.
No. With Bow Wow.
And why? I remember you used to do, what's that? You can do it.
What is it?
The
the song?
Yeah.
They know it. They know.
Okay. So you used to do that all the time, like sing that song.
Yeah, I know the entire track list of that movie.
What is the song?
It's called Tokyo Drift, and it's like the little Asian one.
And what does she say?
I wonder if you know, Tokyo. And then she's like, Drift. Okay. So much so that we went on a vacation to Slovenia, and we're
at McDonald's.
Because McDonald's, and they played that song, and I was like, I know it, and I think I was pretty lit. Yeah. And I was singing the entire song, and he's just chowing down on him. What is it?
I don't know.
It's not a Big Mac or a quarter pounder. It's a Le Royale.
No, we weren't in France. We were in Slovenia, so it was a quarter pounder.
That was a Pulp Fiction reference.
Yes, but I do remember going over there and seeing a picture of New York, and it was called a Western Burger, and it was a picture of New York, and we're looking like, this has nothing to do with this hamburger.
Yeah, it had like barbecue sauce on it.
Yes.
Weird.
So you used to watch Tokyo Drift.
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Hmm.
And you still think that's your favorite one?
Yeah, it's the best one. You've got DK, you got the guy Gene, Bow Wow, and his Hulk car. Drift King's the Asian guy, the mean guy.
So why do you like that one opposed to any of the other?
Maybe because it's Tokyo and there's like a better storyline behind it, I think. He's the outcast and had to move to Tokyo because he got in trouble for street racing.
No, okay.
And was into American Muscles. And then he goes over there and is like, oh, wait, they're not messing around.
And the first one, I think when the first one came out, your mom was pregnant with you.
I think it came out in 2000, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember getting pulled over racing in a Civic with nitrous after the movie, of course, on the freeway with my nitrous, and I got pulled over.
Was there a car seat in the back?
No, you weren't even born yet.
Well, then it came out in 2000.
Yeah, but it came out early 2000,
Oh.
so you were born in September. So I got pulled over, and the guy was asking why I was going so fast, and I said my wife is pregnant, which she was, and he followed me all the way to your mom's work because I said that she was going into labor.
So you're like, get a water bottle, poke some holes in it. We'll be there in 10.
Yeah, and then I ran into her work and then kind of peeked and he left. And I remember that movie. And then the second one was with
Ava.
Oh, that's the one in Miami.
Yep.
And the third one is your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth one is?
I think since the Tokyo Drift isn't really like with any of the main characters, the third one, I have no idea. I don't remember.
So,
but I like the first one because you've got Jesse there.
And it's nostalgic, right? It's the original.
Exactly.
So don't you have like a Lego collection full of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got the Skyline. Pre-ordered that bad boy. Which that's in the second movie.
And what else have you collected? So also, nice little tidbit. We used to go for Christmas. I have some employees that have given me the Lego kits, like the GT3, the orange one, and then the RSR one, and you and I put those together, and then a couple other ones. We used to do those, and they take like a whole weekend. Yeah. Now you have your own collection.
Yeah, they're the mini ones, and they're all in my office.
And then your lower, don't you lower cars too?
Yeah. You know when you go to like CVS or 7-Eleven, they have like the end aisle filled with cars? I have all of the carrier trucks, so like USPS, UPS, DHL. I haven't found the FedEx one.
And what do you do with them? Just cut the wheels? Cut
the, like where the axles would be, I guess, the rods that spin it, and cut a hole through like the flat plastic, and then put it back on, and then it's lowered.
So why don't you get a UPS one and paint it white?
No, they make it. I just gotta find it.
Oh, they do?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Or are they gonna have all the other ones, but not FedEx?
I don't know. Maybe FedEx doesn't sponsor it. So if any of you listeners find it, let me know. Yeah. Or put it on YouTube where to find it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. But all of my cars are Lego cars that you go buy at the store, but I don't build what the car is supposed to be. I turned it into JDM cars.
So like what?
So I've got a Civic like hatchback that was supposed to be, I think, a Challenger or a Charger. It's black.
Okay.
I got an S2000.
So it was a Charger and you turned it into a Civic? Yeah. And there's
I don't know, a YouTube channel. It's some guy that did it. So you're not using all of the pieces. There's going to be like extra pieces that you're not using.
Didn't you do NSX?
Is it an NSX?
What did that start out as?
I think it's the white Ferrari.
Oh.
Yep. And then there's a red car that I turned into an S2000.
And you don't know what that started out as neither? Mm-mm. Okay, so you take these cars and you mod them yourself.
I just watched the YouTube video. I don't want a Corvette or a Ferrari. I want like some old 2000s cars.
Well, any other ones that are coming up that you want to get?
Any Legos?
Yeah, didn't you just get 2 more?
I did. They have Formula 1 Legos now, so I've built the Ferrari one because Lewis Hamilton's now in Ferrari. Got the Mercedes ones and the McLaren one. Okay. So yeah, but there's a new one, the Marble. My favorite is Marble anything. People would think I'm addicted to smoking, but I'm not.
So you have a lot of stuff in your office with.
Yeah, and it's kind of worrisome when we have like UPS reps come in my office and it's just Marble pictures everywhere. But whatever.
But it's racing stuff, though. It's not like it's the cowboy smoking cigarettes.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
And I just saw that you got an ashtray
Mm-hmm.
at a thrift store.
Antique store. Yeah, it's an ashtray, but there's rubber tire around it.
Oh, was it a Firestone?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
$6.
That's a pretty good deal because that's $20 at Turkey Rod Run.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I like the old. They're making that Williams, the old Williams one.
Oh,
Legos.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And who's your favorite Formula One racer?
Currently?
Yes.
Lewis Hamilton.
And do you think he's gonna?
Probably not. I think Lando Norris has got it in the bag this year. Anyone but Max, really.
Okay. So I asked Savannah to come on here because we didn't have any guests, but I wanted to keep everything going because it's very rare that all of us are out unless we're doing a trip together. So I asked her, I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and I asked her, hey, do you want to come? So I know a lot of my friends like hang out with you. One, you talk shit to them a lot. And two, you have grown up around me being in the same hobbies that I am. So I figured, well, hey, you want to come? Plus, you work here too. So it was easy for you to just...
Skips my nap for this.
Yes, at your 4 o'clock nap. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll probably still take it. So that's pretty much all that we have. It's kind of not too long. We did 53 minutes. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you have any questions for her, feel free to go to the YouTube channel and put comments and ask her what. Give her some Fast and Furious trivia. I'm sure she knows, especially for Tokyo Drift. Thanks for watching, guys. As you know, just like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks a lot.
Bye.